I know when our president was Medvedev, the main aim of his activity was improvement of innovative policy of our country, but in the framework of our president, the main aim, I think, is defense the country, and I think we have to improve our country's policy in different directions.
Thank you.
One question. You told us about sources of innovation. How do you think have we ways of interaction between business and science here in Krasnodar region, which can help to improve the situation?
How can what?
Which ways do we have in Krasnodar region between science and business? Could science provide innovation for business here on regional level?
Maybe 4 years ago, there was a venture fund in Krasnodar region, which can also help their invest money in science. And nowadays, I think the separate scientists should find the financial himself.
So apparently in the late 90s and at the beginning of 2000s, cities and countryside in Russia has experienced the overcome from the planned economy to the market one. And due to the sudden opportunities for growth, there appeared a lack of policies which could guide the development of urban and rural areas. Therefore, the goal of my research is to prove the hypothesis that rural and urban development-based policies in Krasnodar and in Prague. The main objectives of our research included specifying existing approaches to studies of urban and rural areas, paying special attention to existing policies of urban and rural development, identifying the role and the function of these policies, and analyzing the current processes of global political restructuring. Another objective is to define the concept of space integration policies, which is a new concept in the science, and especially there is a lack of this concept in the Russian tradition, of viewing the policies. Then we are scrutinizing the public space of an urban or rural area and pointing out it's important because one of the most popular and trendy policy abroad is public space related policy. And in the practical part, we evaluate the economic influence of space-related policies to the development of a region.
Development of urban development between business, state, government, and social interests.
That is why we have divided the spaces, special spaces, which the policy should be aimed at. And as you can see, there are many more in our work. We have subdivided several of them, so they are also administrative space, political space, and all of these should be integrated part of the regional development policy. So they will not overlap each other, they will not collapse, and they will finally be compromise.
Yes, it's compromise. But how to improve this compromise? Who will be the most important stakeholder of this process?
Well, I would say that the government and local authorities.
Local authorities.
Yes.
What do you think about social authorities? Like, for example, some committees, some social groups, like in our city, Help to the City. Maybe do you know this?
Yes, I know.
Associated. What do you think about this?
They are also part of the social space because they are the volunteers, they are the drivers of the development. And as you know, there were several forums here in Krasnodar when all the people who wanted to help the city development, and there was an expo center. I know this spring, for example, there were people who came and they discussed all the problems all together. Representatives of business, the social groups, the government. So I think in Krasnodar, the potential for this compromise development is quite good, but there are a lack of people who really want to do this, who want to dedicate their time to this. So there's no commitment.
Yes, development.
Well, theoretically, we would live in a perfect city.
Yeah. Yes, but perfect city, but they have many problems, like public transportation, for example. Yes, like building industry. It's huge problems. Yes, but what do you think? What will be result of this improving? For example, in 10 years, next years, we will have what?
Well,
high-growing city in economy, high-growing city in population, maybe very developing transportation, like I don't know, like picture.
Yeah, that's what I meant in my research. That's the main idea and the recommendation for the government or the people who read my thesis is that there shouldn't be separated dots in the policy, that they should work all together, and all these problems they have a solution, and if you work on it, it will work. And there are many examples around the world, as you can see also in my thesis, when I analyze different strategies of urban development in other cities. And it worked. So the main idea is that people should negotiate, they should be delegated.
Thank you. Thank you. Another questions, please?
If I may? Alexei, thank you for your presentation. The topic was urban and rural development. And if and we can easily see how the public space methodology could be effective within, for example, Krasnodar. But do you think that the same methodology should be applied to rural areas? And the second question, which is connected to the first one, is if not, what methodology could help here, for example, in Russian integration?
I would say that this methodology also works in rural areas. First of all, if we take the most important public space for town or village is marketplace. Unfortunately now we can see that these marketplaces are being deconstructed and eliminated. The aim and the function of the public space is not only for entertainment or leisure activities. It also for in urban area, I would say that it's less important for urban population than for rural population, because rural population is a place where they can meet each other. It helps to build local communities. Local communities develop, and as you know, the local communities for rural area may probably have bigger authorities than their local authorities, because they decide what should be done there. And when you concentrate on creating and developing public spaces in rural areas, you also trigger the economic, social, and physical development as well. And besides that, besides the influence on the population there, it affects the tourists and it builds the competitive advantage of rural area in many other ways. And there is a separated chapter in my thesis which describes the possibilities of developing the public space within the urban realm or the rural realm. So if you're interested, you can have a look. It is very specified there.
There is an idea that people do leave rural areas, not because they do not have enough of parks or any other kinds of public space, but just because they do not have adequate salaries within that areas, and they do move to the big town to get a good job and to get a good salary. Are there any methodologies that could help in this economic sphere with these aspects?
Yeah, there was also the public space that can also provide the employment positions like vacancies. They also improve the economic situation by creating the possibilities to interact in economic terms.
Efficiency by generation and development of strategically significant clusters. My thesis is illustrated with the customer wine cluster. So this is the structure of the presentation. Regions where clusters are generated become leaders of economic development. Such leading regions determine the competitiveness of national economies. Being one of the main sectors of regions with climate and soil conditions of the cluster as a potential producer and exporter in the international wine market?
Michael Porter, of course. But I think what cluster is an informal structure. Yes? Informal. And the main one is here the business interest for the members.
Yes.
Can you describe it, please, in general? Which interests of cluster's members will be more important? Which interests? Maybe business interest, investments,
Of course, business,
maybe
because
marketing.
they are the major hub of cluster. And then, but cluster it's the combination of business of course science, because for example in Western region they bring new spices of wines. So and it's very also important. And for example. Advances in technology, it's also very important.
Okay, who will be leader? Who will be stakeholder
Businesses.
in organization of cluster?
No, I think government.
Government.
Yes.
Okay, about this. What do you think about market potential of wine clusters of Krasnodar region? Because I think it's very, very niche product. It's not for mass market, it's only for niche market. What do you think about this?
I think that of course now it's for domestic market, but we should...
For domestic market, okay, of course, yes. But for foreign market, what do you
For
think
foreign
about
market,
export
for example,
possibilities?
for Commonwealth of independent countries, so it's we export wines there. But of
Which
course,
kind of wine? It's will be final made wine or like raw material? What?
no, of course wines, because we import raw material and a lot. We import a lot, and this is a big problem. Yeah, because it spoils the quality of wines. So.
Really? Okay, next one.
I would like to proceed with the market potential of wine cluster, because several years ago I was a participant of an effort to offer one of the very famous international law firms to wine producers in Krasnodar region to cooperate in order to create the single brand, like for example Kuban wine, to advance it to the international level. But we faced the lack of desire to cooperate from the owners of local firms, because they were interested in their own activities, in their own profits, but not in the industry of the Krasnodar region itself. My question is, how do you think, or whether it is possible to develop that cluster from the government, from the outer structures? Is it possible to do it if no one wants to cooperate from inside of the
That's why I said that the major participant is the government, because it can bring companies together to organize them to cooperate. So I think of course they work only for their own revenues, but the cluster it will help to raise the revenues also, because they will have the same distribution system, the same transportation system. So and it will help a lot. And I think of course they don't know it now, but with the time in the future they will. I hope they will coordinate with each other.
Thank you. Anybody else? Thank you. Efficiency progress of contemporary international trade policies.
Good afternoon, dear Chairman, dear committee. I would like to present my topic, masterthesis on the topic efficiency problems of contemporary international trade policies. My name is Thesises, my supervisor, improvement in natural conditions. I mean, government should stabilize it using different instruments, because now our ruble is weak and low export prices are not real. They're real. I mean, high export prices. We need high export prices for production, in production. And concluding the findings of the research work, I would like to mention that all countries should choose their international policies taking into account comparative advantages and all threats and possibilities of all actions taken by them. So, thank you for your attention. I'm glad to hear your questions.
Presentation.
Thank you.
And 2 questions, please. Can you describe how does influence sanctions and counter-sanctions to GDP of Russia and European countries? Maybe in general, maybe in percentage.
Unfortunately, I don't have this information in percentage,
Yeah.
but logically I can say that, of course, speaking about the European countries, we can say that GDP of these countries is directly related with agricultural sector, and this ban means significant decrease in production, possible decrease in production of these agri-foods, and of course GDP will suffer. And from the point of view of Russia, of course, official media will always say that everything is good, that we are trying to find new ways of our development in agricultural sector. But I think, in my opinion, we have problems, and we need to solve these problems.
Russia lost more than 1.5% of GDP by sanctions, but European countries about 0.5, maybe 0.6%. And what about requirements of World Trading Organization to the countries, to member countries, in the regulation of export, import? Can you describe in general?
To reach using our own resources, our own production. And during until the 2020, we need to achieve the goals of doctrine of the food security, and that's why now Russia is actively tries to work in this direction. And we applied, as I know, we try to apply even innovations in the agricultural sector to increase this process and
To increase competitive advantages.
yes, competitive advantages.
Okay, thank you. No more questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And qualifying work. Effectiveness increased methods of using the economic resources in oil and gas industry, on example, LLC Europe.
Yes. Good day, dear colleagues and dear committee. Let me introduce my master thesis. It's called Effectiveness Increased Methods of Using the Economic Resources in Oil and Gas Industry. On economic resource management.
Okay. I'm not specialized in that industry, but sometimes I wrote thesis about. Can you compare pressed gas prices and natural gas prices? I think the mainstream of development of prices of markets are competition between pressed gas and natural gas.
Competitive advantages is natural gas is it's free gas in underground that lift on energy of ground, yes, and we no cost for pumping on some.
And transportation by tube.
Transportation by tube.
This kind is very investment huge, yes, because how to construct tube, how to work. It's very bit expensive, yes.
Yes.
And what about press gas? The technology is
I don't know press gas in Russian.
press gas, сжатый gas.
Да. Oh, it's technology for when we transform gas in liquid gas. Liquid gas. It's new.
Maybe it will be cheaper to transport to.
I think it's expensive technology because our deposits located in Western Siberia, where is very
And we have
cold
gates
and
to
we
the
have
seas,
ice
and
and
the transportation systems. Okay. Thank you. Next question, please. No? No. Thank you. We need some time to discuss about your results, and in 2, 3, maybe 5 minutes we will invite you. So, you are free for 5 minutes. We evaluate your diploma works, we evaluate your answers, your presentation, and our opinion about your work is so. Spishilov Alexei, excellent 5 points. Yesich Anna, excellent 5 points. Kandakchan Elza, excellent 5 points. Chekova Evgenia, excellent 5 points. Shevchenko Alexander, excellent 5 points. Thank you very much for your work. Thank you very much for your presentation, for your forces. Today is a big celebration for you, for us, because it's our, I don't know about me, it's my first experience to work like today, and I think it was a very good experience. I would like to wish you success on the building of career and for your life too. More money, less work. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Одно фото быстро с председателем на...
Вам говорю, я прям не
Мы никак не будем
Теперь вам нужно разрезать.
Которая